report a clip and I almost pissed myself. Almost? You did, didn't you? Didn't you, old Dave? Yous guys be keeping me sane. 2323 school. Thank you. Hispanics are most likely to vote independent. Samuel MTZ. Independent. Latina. All right. Benny. Hey, Van. The black population is the most economically disadvantaged group by open borders. And that's from Benny. China listened to Vivek and let it spread. J.A. Savage. Mr. Potato, does he still want to invade Mexico? Palestine? I know, we didn't even get to the Mexico questions.
Didn't even get to it.
You know, Mr. Potato, I got to tell you, he was supposed to be in studio. Didn't. He was supposed to do longer than 35 minutes. I mean, that's
I thought
on
we were
purpose.
Yeah, I think pretty sure that was on
That
purpose.
was a maneuver.
They looked at, they booked it. Here's what I think happened.
All right, go to Jimmy.
Here's what I think happened. That Vivek, they booked because they reached out to us, right, Misha? They reached out to us to come on the show. We didn't reach out to Vivek to come on the show.
Oh,
and so they wanted so they come on the so they book it, and then they look into the show, and they're like, oh, we better limit our time on the show.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
He wasn't getting you. You're much harder than CNN, stupid, coming at him.
Yeah, well, CNN comes at him from the right. They don't come at him from the left.
Yeah, right.
CNN comes, yeah. Okay, so that's what I think happened.
Did somebody misinform them that you're a right-winger?
I think so. And then I think they looked into it and they're like,
wait a minute.
That's hilarious.
I think that's probably what happened. And they're like, wait a minute. So then they, instead of coming in studio, they're going to do it over Zoom. And then instead of it being a couple hours, it got cut down to 35 minutes. So that's all I had. That's all the time I had.
And you know what I thought was very interesting in the moment where Jimmy was showing the screen? That he said, oh, I'm just looking in the camera. I don't see the screen.
No one's ever said that
Come
before.
on. What the flippity flop? Because when that happened, I was like, all right, then from now on, everybody who comes on the show, I'm going to have to put something on the screen and say, can you see the screen?
Well, if it's just those clips, look, like,
yeah.
If it's just those clips, I think he maybe couldn't see it, but the clips of the devastation, like, honestly, if I hadn't heard other information first, I would just be like, well, I can't trust anything from over there. So I don't know what that is. It could be from a year ago. You know, that's things people would say. But the thing that's undeniable is like the Wolf Blitzer talking to that guy. Clip.
Yeah. When he gets sad face.
Yeah. You don't got to believe it. Yeah. Wolf Blitzer, soul leaving his body is the most beautiful. Like, you don't have to show anybody any of that stuff. Just show them the things, the people from it. Because Israel lies less about what they're doing.
They tell you what they're doing.
And so then I watch the people that are supposed to be, you know, the middle segment on the human centipede that's supposed to shit their shit into your mouth after they're done. Be like, I can't digest this. Like, pass this down. Like, that's what you're watching. And that's like, just show people, that's what I would show people. Just Wolf Blitzer thing. Show the Dresden stuff is crazy to me. Okay, the Arabs are lying. Look, I never believed them for 20 years. I would have never listened to an Arab ever. Jews told me what was going on. They're sick of it.
Over to Steph.
All right. Studio 8424. Hello, Jimmy and Steph. From the Great Smoky Mountains east of Tennessee. Studio8424.com and radio8424.com. Look at you, Studio 84. All right. Kerp. Rhino 3996. Thank you, Rhino 39996. All right.
It's a conspiracy.
Right. All right. Hey, Fauci knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah, that was an interesting moment, including weaponizing psychological abuse to drive sales and increase adoption rates of the product. His words. Look at you, Zach, coming in. Night Watch. Question the guy for running for president. So if that's, I think you should use an emoji. So if U.S. bomb Mexico, Mexico has complete right to genocide in the U.S.? Look at that question.
Not a genocide, an ethnic cleansing, sure.
Zach says, just because Vivek was flipping Big Pharma with his eyes closed doesn't mean Fauci was just making innocent mistakes.
Well, you know, Fauci's just the front loser. Like, okay, yeah, put him on trial. You think Fauci is on his own there? Fauci gets ordered, like the deep state, the people that go on trial, you never heard of them. Like the people that you get to see on TV, they're there for you to be mad at a stupid fake thing on C-SPAN where they go, you're a liar. Like, no, you are lying. And you pretend like something's going on. So what's the point of even saying you do something about Fauci? Nothing's going to happen to Fauci. If you're really going to get that deep state, it's all going to be people you don't know, maybe former heads of CIA or something, but mostly people you never heard of.
All right. Hey, Willis Boykin says, this guy is a clown. Carrie Matchett, what do you say, Carrie, my girl? Vivek made $1 gazillion on a fake drug with his mommy. Total fraud at his core. Carrie Matchett. Look at the people in the audience.
So not an argument against him being
It didn't seem
president.
like he made any new supporters today.
Okay.
Oh, back to Jimmy Jam.
So remember when Vivek said this at the debate, the GOP debate?
I think the real enemy is not Donald Trump. It's not even Joe Biden. It is the deep state that at least Donald Trump attempted to take on. And if you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? That the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11. That the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech. That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that they knew was false. There's a reason why I'm the only person on the stage who can say these things. That's what it's going to take, not people who are licking his boots one time and now Monday morning quarterbacking him and criticizing him when it's convenient.
Governor Christie.
Okay, so January 6th was an inside job by the deep state. 9/11 was an inside Saudi hit job. Russiagate is fake. And oh yeah, Israel has the right to defend itself. Add another name to the almost made it club. Almost made it. But he had to go defend himself for saying that stuff on CNN. So he goes on CNN, and what is the name of this female journalist? Doesn't matter really, but
she stinks.
She's right.
She's interchangeable with a bunch of other
so
ones.
she's been giving a list of talking points that she's supposed to just keep saying over and over. And I honestly don't think this woman knows what happened on January 6th.
Yeah.
I honestly think she believes the propaganda. And so she's going to ask him a question. But the reason why I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to try and play it as long as I can without stopping it, is because watch how horrible of an interview this is. This is not an interview. This is CNN doing straight up propaganda and talking over someone who the audience wants to hear from. Now, the audience, pay attention, the audience, every time even though the CNN reporter is talking over Vivek, the CNN audience is applauding what Vivek keeps saying. This is not going well for CNN. Watch this.
So let me ask you about something that you said at the debate last week. You used the phrase inside job to describe what happened on January 6th. The next day, Capitol rioter Alan Hostetter highlighted your comments at his sentencing. He is going to prison for 11 years. Hostetter threatened members of Congress. He brought a hatchet, knives, pepper spray, stun batons, tactical gear to the U.S. Capitol. Are you concerned that a convicted felon like that is now promoting your comments in court?
So here's my concern, Abby. And I want to tell you guys where I'm at. If you had told me, it's close to 3 years ago that January 6, 2021 happened. If you had told me 3 years ago, back when I was a biotech CEO, not steeped in this world, I was just consuming passive media, but was focused.
And by the way, when I look for qualifications for assigning my faith in a political leader, I always default to a biotech CEO. That's he just said.
That's why he's got a shot at anything.
I think you're right.
I think he could talk about the truth about a bunch of stuff. The guys walk the walk.
Yeah, that's right. So they kind of belong together. One corporate servant versus another. This is the America's Godzilla battle. She's just going to robotically push ahead with what they told her to say. And here we go. Watch.
On my world of developing medicines. If you had told me that January 6th was in any way an inside job, the subject of government entrapment, I would have told you that was crazy talk. Fringe conspiracy theory nonsense. I can tell you now, having gone somewhat deep in this, it's not. I mean, the reality is this. We do have a government, first of all, we have to acknowledge that has lied to us systematically over the last several years about the origin of COVID-19, about the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was false by 51 CIA experts and otherwise before we now know that it was true. You can go straight down the list. The Trump-Russia disinformation collusion hoax, all of it. Now we come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. If I may finish just answering.
Well, let me just.
I'm
going to go ahead and interrupt.
So he finally gets to the part of the answer that is addressing her direct question, and she just stops him. She just stops him.
Mr. Ramaswamy, I'm going to interrupt you before you answer the thing that I asked.
I'm just going to. I have to stop, and I have to say, I have to answer the question for you. That's what she's doing. He finally gets to the. So that was kind of a bullshit preamble. It wasn't bullshit, but it was his preamble to his answer. And as soon as he gets to his answer, she starts to talk over him and starts to answer the question for him because someone starts yelling in her ear. Read the thing we gave you. Read the thing we gave you. That's what's happening here. Let's watch. Here we go.
But there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. If I may finish just answering.
Well, let me just. I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you here because
I know this establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
there were federal agents.
We should be able to talk about this.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
So the audience hears what he's saying.
Yeah.
The audience hears he's saying, I know where this isn't approved. I'm not supposed to be able to say this. There were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th. And the crowd knows that now. So people know that now.
Yeah.
And CNN is still operating on the thing that no, nobody knows this yet.
They're trying to install an AI version of this chick like in your computer.
Yes.
To keep
that's
you
right.
from
to keep you from
We're saying there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
Yep.
There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none. They just couldn't say how many there were.
So you're saying that that you have not seen any evidence.
So
that
we've
there
seen
were,
multiple.
and so you
we've seen
assume
multiple informants suggesting that there were. We know people were FBI informants. So we're asking.
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this, and you can come back to question.
But let me clarify.
I know this is very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my question.
I know this is an uncomfortable issue for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because
She's going to clarify her question. No, we know what the question is. We know what the question is. Why don't you let him answer it? Because the things he has to say are not allowed to be said on CNN. And I think she's so dumb she doesn't know that what he's saying is true. And why don't you let him answer the question? Why do you think that when the FBI was actually questioned in the Senate, how many FBI agents were in the crowd? They wouldn't answer.
They said, I can't comment on that.
I can't comment.
That is all the proof I need to know it was a lot.
How much more proof do you need?
If they didn't, they go, no. And then when you go, there's no evidence, and they deny it, oh, okay, well, there's a denial. We're not going to deny it, so they're there. That's all that means.
Make sure that you understand what I'm asking.
I understand this deeply. And I told you, I was with you 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Yes.
Where is the evidence that the government had a plot?
Let's do this.
An inside job.
But no, I'm going to tell you what an inside job is because I'm not
violence on January 6th.
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Where is the evidence that the government was involved in planning or executing January 6th?
I've never seen anything like this. She just won't stop. He's literally answering her question. He's got facts to use to answer her question, and she will just keep talking over him and interrupting him.
Oh, you know why? She probably isn't listening to a word he says because of the earpiece.
Because the earpiece.
She's repeating what's in her ear.
She's being told in her ear, keep saying this.
So she can't hear the answer.
That's right. It's like Freebie and the Bean. Hit her with the phone bill.
So I'm going to give you hard facts, and if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on it after the evidence, and you can push back on that, and let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released? 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd, shooting tear gas into that crowd. You didn't see that before. You saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police allowing people in.
Again,
right through the front door.
The vast majority of
that
footage
evidence should have been released before, Abby.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
So she just won't. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, as bad as corporate media is, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and the hundreds of hours of video, dum-dum.
As the audience that you assembled is applauding for him in Des Moines, Iowa, by the way. You won't let him answer the question, and you keep talking over him, and you keep moving the goalposts, and you keep changing the subject.
The vast
should have been
majority
released
of the
before.
footage shows
And my deeper
police
question
officers
is this.
being overrun
and I want to talk about one more
by
case.
violent
This is really important.
riders. That's
Yeah, I'm
what
going to
the
give you
vast
I'm going to give you some
majority
hard facts.
of it shows.
So here's what
Who
entrapment
doesn't?
is.
You can't cherry pick.
I'm not cherry picking.
You
If I may finish,
you
Abby.
cannot
If I may
cherry
finish,
pick
Abby. I'm not cherry picking.
examples.
To the contrary.
So she just won't. Have you ever seen? Has anyone here ever seen anything like
No.
this?
If the vast majority shows what she says, which she didn't watch any of it,
Which she
by
didn't
the
watch
way,
any of it.
why would you hold it back since it shows the thing you want people to believe?
That's right.
The vast majority. Did someone tell you that? I know you didn't watch 400 hours of shit.
That's right.
To the contrary,
You
you know
cannot
who cherry
cherry-pick
picked?
examples
You know who cherry
and
picked?
say
The
that
government
that
did.
is what
The
happened on
government
January
cherry picked
6th.
12 hours of footage when there was 200 hours of footage. So cherry picking was the government, not me. Release the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic.
So
I think this is a
But she
single
won't.
libertarian issue of our time.
When we were
Gretchen Whitmer's
talking-
kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000, encouraged them to buy munitions, plan something they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to know this, especially CNN viewers to know this, is that one of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards, gave him a hug, apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police, people
Mr.
letting them in
Ramaswamy,
freely. Many of those people then being
Mr.
charged.
Ramaswamy, look,
The government cannot put you up to do something and then
Mr.
charge you for
Ramaswamy,
it.
look,
That's wrong.
I don't want to have
It's wrong to the left,
I
to the right.
don't want to
care.
have
It's
to.
wrong.
I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't.
Then don't.
Oh, wow.
She really doesn't. She's being told what to do.
I
as
really
a
don't want to
shell
do
of a
this, but they
human.
keep telling me in my ear to interrupt you, so I keep interrupting you.
I don't want you to mislead the audience here or
I'm
at
not.
home.
Abby, I think they've been misled by the mainstream.
The audience is laughing at the CNN journalist, at the TV talker. The audience is just laughed at her. This is what, and you know, unfortunately, nobody's watching this because it's on CNN. More people watch this show than watch that show.
More people will see it because you re-aired it.
That's right.
Media.
Let me back it up a little.
FBI agents putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police, people
Mr.
letting them in
Ramaswamy,
freely. Many of those people then being
Mr.
charged.
Ramaswamy, look,
The government cannot put you up to do something and then
Mr.
charge you for
Ramaswamy,
it.
look,
That's wrong.
I don't want to have
It's wrong to the left,
I
to the right.
don't want to
care.
have
It's
to.
wrong.
I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't. But I don't want you to mislead the audience here or
I'm
at
not.
home.
Abby, I think they've been misled by the mainstream media.
Boy, it is an amazing amount of progress that an Indian guy running for president is arguing with a black woman who's defending the FBI.
The FBI.
Like, what evidence is there that they... We didn't need this burden of evidence to say Russell Brand is some kind of a serial rapist, did we?
That's right.
We didn't have to go, where's your evidence? All we needed was the word of the BBC, and not even the women. You don't get to hear from them. They'll tell you what they said. Oh, Trump, Russia. Well, where's the evidence? He wasn't proven innocent. The FBI wasn't proven innocent. How about that?
So I'm always going to be skeptical of a biotech, a guy who comes out of biotech.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
this is for president. Be simple
it's hard
president.
it's hard to not applaud like that audience is doing when he's. It's fun to watch him shut her down and
without losing his temper.
Without losing his temper, because I certainly would have lost my temper with her there. And it goes on and on. I mean, that's 5 minutes.
I told her to shut her trap 5 times during this. I mean, I should be elected for that, but it's not the country we live in.
That's a 5-minute clip I just played you. And it goes, I mean, I've heard
could have been 1 minute.
Just nonstop talking and interrupting. That is not, listen, you're not saying what I want, so I'm going to just keep saying it. And she just kept, I've never seen anything like that. That was...
Maybe they have her family hostage and she has to interview this guy correctly to get them back.
That was worse than Cenk Uygur interviewing Brianna Joy Gray. That was bad.
How long ago was that one?
A year ago.
Oh, I don't remember what it was about.
It was mostly about me.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
You remember that, right? No, you remember.
I'd like to see Cenk handle her. I bet he would, with all the skill of handling an airport terminal lady.
So I just want to know who is backing Vivek that he can openly tell the truth about the deep state and not be destroyed already.
I guess APAC,
right?
maybe?
So if I want to tell the truth, do I have to be a former biotech CEO? Is that what it is? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So, and by the way, could CNN make you sound any more like what he's saying is right?
No, it's not possible.
That's what I've seen Bill Gates less jumpy being asked about Epstein than that fake journalist when he correctly pointed out that the feds were connected to January 6th.
Yeah. There's no evidence.
There's no.
What brings up the hundreds of hours.
You can't cherry pick. You can't. So kudos to Vivek for actually looking into January 6th. Maybe he should do the same thing with Gaza. That would probably be very helpful.
After the election, he can look into Gaza from the inside.
After
they all can.
That's stunning, and you see how corporate journalism works. They have a narrative, they have an agenda. They're not actually there to ask questions. They're not there to provide a forum for people to talk and exchange ideas, because that producer there is like, you got to stop them. Just keep talking over.
Yeah,
over stuff.
Yep. Okay. Progressive sensibilities do not win.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit